Breaking news coming in. Prime Minister Modi has welcomed Donald Trump's Gaza peace plan. He said it's a significant step forward and that the Gaza peace efforts have made a decisive progress. The Prime Minister has also said that India supports durable and just peace. Now, this statement, remember, comes after Donald Trump had moved forward with the Gaza peace plan. And India has now come out in support. Remember, earlier as well, Prime Minister Modi had shown support for Donald Trump's proposed peace plan. And now he's come out again reiterating that India supports peace. Now, Prime Minister Modi has said that these peace efforts in Gaza have made decisive progress, and indications of the release of hostages marks a significant step forward. Remember, Hamas had come out and said that it accepts Donald Trump's efforts for maintaining peace in Gaza and that it's ready to release the Israeli hostages, which again Prime Minister Modi has reacted to. He said that it's a significant step forward when it comes to moving towards peace in Gaza. Colleague Priyanka Dio joins us with more details. Priyanka, now it seems it is a significant step forward and India agrees as well. We have been, of course, supporting this. Prime Minister Modi has come forward and reiterated that India backs this peace plan and that it's a significant step forward, especially the fact that hostages are going to be released.
Well, on September 29, that was just a few days ago, Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu unveiled it was actually a 20-point plan for Gaza. So they call this a breakthrough moment, a roadmap that would bring Israeli hostages home. It would dismantle Hamas's military power and also begin rebuilding Gaza as what they described as a new Gaza with investment, with jobs, with housing, etc. But just days later, Hamas has responded, and their reply is pretty telling. On the surface, Hamas says that they accept parts of the plan. They agree in principle to a ceasefire and even to prisoner and hostage exchange. That sounds like progress, yet when it comes to the toughest parts, disarming, stepping aside from control of Gaza, and accepting an internationally supervised government, Hamas has stopped short. They insist that more negotiations are needed, and they set conditions tied to field realities, meaning they want flexibility and stalling rather than hard deadlines. So what does this mean? On one hand, Hamas is signaling that they do not want to be seen as rejecting peace outright to the world. They are under enormous pressure, both from Israel's military campaign and from civilians in Gaza who desperately need relief. By accepting some elements of this 20-point plan, Hamas keeps the door open diplomatically and avoids complete isolation. But on the other hand, Hamas's hesitation reveals the central challenge that for Hamas, disarmament is existential. It does not exist. To surrender weapons and control would effectively end their role as any type of military force in the world, something they are unlikely to do just because a paper plan demands it. So this reply puts the spotlight back on the mediators and on Israel. Will Israel and the US accept a phased partial compliance, or will they view Hamas's reservations as stalling tactics? Already Netanyahu has said that the Israel army will remain in much of Gaza regardless, which undercuts the idea of any sort of Palestinian self-rule. So while the Trump-Netanyahu announcement was packaged as a historic day for peace, and Modi has agreed to it and encouraged it, Hamas's response shows just how far the reality lags behind the rhetoric. We may see some short-term steps, which are good, perhaps exchange of hostages, perhaps limited ceasefire, but as long as Hamas clings to weapons and Israel refuses a Palestinian state, the deeper and root conflict remains unresolved. So the bottom line here, Hamas' reply was not a yes, it was not a no, it was a strategic time stall, it was a maybe, and in the Middle East, that usually means more negotiation, more pressure, and unfortunately more certainty and civilian suffering on the ground.
Right, before I bring in my colleague Ghazali, Priyanka, now does it seem at this moment, as per what you're looking at in terms of local reports as well, is there a possibility of negotiation in most of the terms that Trump has put out, that Hamas also is seeking negotiations, like you said, especially when it comes to arms?
Well, it just depends on what Trump will do. Will Trump support Israel in fighting Hamas if they do not agree to any of the terms? That's why Hamas is trying to stall the conflict, right? So they just want time. They just want more and more time. So it really depends. The ball is back in Trump's court and Netanyahu's court. Are they going to keep negotiating with an extremist group, or are they going to take action? So if they take action, I don't think there's going to be much of negotiation. But if they keep negotiating, I mean, Hamas is just going to stall until they can't stall anymore.
Right, let me bring in my colleague Ghazali, who's joining us as well. Ghazali, now India again having reiterated its support for Trump's peace plan, and Prime Minister Modi is saying that it's a significant step forward now.
Certainly, India has its interest in the West Asia region, particularly because of the two reasons. One, we have very large diaspora in Middle East. Second, most of the energy needs are being catered by the countries in that region. And any instability or the continued instability or a kind of conflict which has been going on for the last 2 years, October 7, just 3 days later will mark the second anniversary of this, or marks 2 years of this conflict. Is particularly something which is concern for India. India has been raising this issue for a very long time. Throughout this conflict, India has been in touch with the Palestinian representatives, or the President of Palestine, Mr. Mahmoud Abbas, has been in touch with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has also been talking to Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu as well, and has also offered that whenever it takes, India will do, or whatever it takes, India will do or assume that role. So that's a big development, a positive development coming out of Middle East, that Mr. Trump has brokered that peace deal, at least for now, where Hamas has shown a partial or sort of agreement to accept some of the demands, and the most important being the release of the hostages, because that is something, if that moves in a positive direction, if Hamas releases all the hostages, living and dead, in one go or in the next 72 hours, then certainly Mr. Trump, who is very willing to self-nominate himself for a Nobel Peace Prize, will try to ensure that at least Israel is not allowed to break those terms, because in the past we have seen that it was Israel which broke the ceasefire, which was broken the ceasefire which was achieved earlier this year, and this time around there has been a lot of discontent among the supporters of Mr. Trump himself, and that is why in his video statement, if you see, he has not uttered the word Israel, he has not uttered the word Hamas, but he has thanked all the Arab leaders or the Arab countries and the representatives who have played the role of mediator and pushed Hamas to at least say yes to this deal, after a warning was issued by White House that if by tomorrow 6 p.m. Hamas doesn't agree to release hostages, all hell will break loose in Gaza.